The other week, my wife Shelby and I, we went out on a couple of date nights. And one of the things that we did is we went to go look at Christmas lights and holiday decorations. And a lot of the houses were great, but I have to admit, I kept thinking if I owned that house, I probably would have decorated it a little bit different. We went out to dinner later that night, and I've been really into cooking lately for some reason, and so we got our meal, and it was good, but I kept thinking I probably would have added these ingredients to give it more of a oomph, you know? We went to go watch a movie later that week, and the movie was really good. It was really entertaining, and yet I kept thinking if I was the director, I would have done more of a surprise ending to make the movie a lot more better. Hi, my name is Dante, and I'm the junior high pastor at the Rancho Bernardo campus, and thanks for joining us for today's Daily Dose. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, this guy thinks really, really high of himself, and I do. I need to work on it. I promise I am. But I think a lot of us, we've found ourselves in similar places where we're thinking, man, if I were them, I would do things differently. Or don't they know better? Don't they know that what they say and what they do and how they raise their kids and the way that they interact with other people, they're not doing it quite right? And every time I have thoughts like that, I'm reminded of a passage in Matthew chapter 7 where Jesus is teaching and he simply says this: "Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye." It's kind of a funny picture, and yet the point and the application is really quite straightforward and clear. It's simple. Before you go and judge others, first take a look inward at yourself and recognize the areas that you need to grow in. You see, as easy as it is to look at others and go, hey, they're doing this wrong and that wrong, and again, don't they know better? Jesus wants us to first take a look at the areas in our life where we're not fully quite like him yet, and we are still growing in, and we still need him in. For some of us, that may simply be the way that you interact with a boss or the way that you interact with an authority figure. For some of you, it may be the way that you talk about others who are simply just not in the room present at the moment. For some of us, it's the short-temperedness that we have in situations that easily frustrate us. I don't know what that is for you, and quite frankly, if you're going to be honest, I think for a lot of us would go, I don't even know what that is for me. And yet here's the cool thing, is we have a God that invites us into relationship with him, and he wants to reveal in us the areas that we still need to become more like him. There's this really cool passage where David in Psalm 51 simply has this prayer, and he goes, God, create in me a pure heart. And later on, he'll simply say, then I can turn people and sinners from their transgressions. So maybe you find yourself in a position where you're constantly thinking, man, they need to be doing this better, or don't they know better? And you're constantly judging others. And if that's you, then here's my encouragement, that you would first take a look inward toward yourself. And maybe you would pray that God would reveal in you the ways that he has already worked on you, that he is working on you, and he still wants to work on you so that you can become more like Jesus. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at the next Daily Dose.